I have been fooling around with the design of the decor that I want to have this tank. And I've got my background with plants actually on the outside, which looks nice, and it's easier to clean because they're on the outside. And I'm actually doing a little studying up. I have a 2.5 gallon tank in there. At first I thought, well, I could use that for the cricket feeding container in the tank, but I'm like, if I put it on end this way, it gives me kind of another level to put something up there, as long as it's not really heavy, of course, for them to climb on, and to put something in there like a hide for them as well. So that still gives them floor space underneath. But then, of course, this second level, they could sit on that there. They could climb up on the decor thing. I've got that piece back there. And I still have enough room here for a water dish. I can put a bigger water dish in there than what they're using right now. Yeah, I still have to figure out the feeder situation. I still don't want crickets running around and they're loose. So, yeah. But I'm working on it. We'll see what works out best. But it doesn't look too bad. Find a way to put some more, put some live plants in there too. So, still working on it. Well, I'm fiddling around with the designs for our big Exo-Terra. And I did a bit of a modification. Here's with the water bowl. I actually still have room in there to kind of stick a feeder bowl in there somewhere, if I could find one that's suitable. I mean, you know, if I can get something that waxworms or dubias won't crawl out of, you know, the crickets are still an issue. But at least if they get loose in here, they can't get behind the background because the background is not in the tank. So that's good. They could get underneath this though, so. I took out that other thing and I put the stump up here, which doesn't get you quite up close enough to the lamp, but you know, that's taller. I'm still fooling around with the different ideas, you know, seeing what's going to work. But definitely going to have room for a nice water dish and possibly a feeder bowl. And I'm going to put Repta carpet in there, so. Plenty of places to climb on. Of course, I don't know how well Martha's going to climb. But she should be able to climb up that back thing there. That shouldn't be too hard for her. And then maybe heft herself up here. We'll see. That doesn't look too bad though. Okay, I have done more modifying. So I've added a jar for cricket feeding. Only like one frog at a time is going to be able to get in there though, so I don't know. I could try sliding another dish or something in there for another frog, but this square one wouldn't fit in there. Trying to make up my mind what to do with this gap back here. I might put something with some plants or something, or I don't know, I just might leave it. Who knows? And And it kind of modified the root thing. Now I've got the dish in the back for the water, though. I'm not even sure I'm going to use that particular dish, but that'd be kind of a pain in the butt to try to have to change. But it is sort of shaded back there from the lights and stuff, especially if I put, you know, something, a little piece of carpeting or something under the coconut, which would keep the water cooler, I would think. But they could climb up this branch here to get, you know, to the edge of the dish, which might be easier for somebody like Martha. And just the different levels using these small tanks, because you still have like the open space down here. Yeah, except I've got like a log in there, and then the water dish. But so you have the lower level, you have the floor space, and then you have the upper level there. You still have some space here on the glass where they could sit. There's a coconut hut, of course, which Martha loves. And they could climb all the way up here, and I could put like the basking, that's closer to the basking lamp. I could put that, move this over here if I can modify my power strip so the cord will reach. You know, so, but yeah, down here they'd have cooler spaces, and it would probably, especially down in there with the water dish, any evaporation or whatever that happens, that's going to be more humid down there. Whereas with the lights and the heat and everything, it might burn off more. So it'll be good to have sensors down in these areas to see what the difference will be. And they've got like a stump hide they could be on. They've got that thing, you know, which has got good hiding spaces. So this looks pretty good. Might be a bit of a pain in the butt to clean. Trying to figure out whether I want to go with the ReptiCarpet or just nothing. I might put the ReptiCarpet on the entire bottom, or I might not, to, you know, give some traction here. Or it might just have it so like the edges of the tank fit over it. Something. And then not have any ReptiCarpet actually in the little tanks themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I just want to make sure it's easier to clean. You know, this way I'm not so sure it's going to be easy to clean. There's a lot of textures in this decor, you know, so if they're going to make a mess, they're going to make a mess. And knowing my children, they're going to make a mess. But I like the way it's looking, you know, so far. Especially like the background. And I especially like the background being outside of the tank. But, you know, they have places where they can climb up and be right next to it, which is nice. So, I just kind of like the idea of having multi-level, you know, areas in here. I might just leave it without ReptiCarpet, but I don't know yet. Or I might put a piece, depending on if I use that water dish, or whatever water dishes I might use. Martha never really did care for that dish. I don't know why. She likes that one. And Lucy likes it just fine, obviously. She's in there. I might just go ahead and take these two that they're using now and stick those both in there on opposite corners and just let them keep their dishes. And they're not real hard to dump. They're not heavy or anything. And yeah, so that would be a good idea. I'd cut a little piece of ReptiCarpet to fit the small tank back there. And give the dishes some cushioning, you know, sop up some water too. So yeah, I kind of like that idea. I think that's a pretty good idea. And we'll see how this works. It's a cricket feeding dish. I mean, it's pretty deep. Martha would be sort of snug in there though, so I don't know. But she's been such a butt lately, I have no idea. Either that or I could just let them roam loose. If I don't have any reptile carpet in there, there's not going to be anything for them to breed in. You know, and if they happen to die, it wouldn't be such a horrible chore to, you know, fish them out. Just have to move a few things. I don't have to dig up a bunch of substrate, which is nice, or worry about a bunch of molding substrate. Like I said, you know, if I missed inside these little tanks, or at least, you know, with the water containers in there, there should be more humidity down lower. You know, if they want humidity, they can move down towards the humidity more. And of course, I spray all the time, so, which works fine, you know, for them. When you don't have substrate, that's kind of what you do, because things do tend to dry out. So, but yeah, I kind of like the configuration of this. We'll just have to see if feasibly it's going to be, you know, cleanable. Martha, she poops like once a week, once every 9 days, and it's big and usually in one spot that she's managed to squeeze herself into. So if I could find the darn thing, I could fish that out, spot clean. You know, if I actually don't have reptile carpet in there, spot cleaning is going to be a heck of a lot easier. For instance, I really got to get this rug in here of Lucy's out of here. But that's where she did a poo, and it was a sloppier poo, and now it's in the fibers of the rug. And of course, frogs love to mess things up right after you've cleaned everything. So, yeah. And I could always just take their leaves, you know, their fake leaves, and strew those around. Those are easy enough to fish out and clean. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and try it this way. I'll take everything out and, of course, disinfect the heck out of it and rinse the heck out of it and set it back up. And when these guys are cleared of their worms, we'll try them out in here. You know, I'll try the crickets in that at first and see what happens. I don't know if Martha's going to like it or not. Martha really needs to learn to move her butt. If there was crickets climbing all over in there, I don't like the idea of crickets that might bite the frogs. Armstrong's is supposed to have crickets that are guaranteed not to bite. You know, and I could always put something in there that the crickets maybe will want to nosh on, as long as the frogs can't get to it. And then they won't be so likely to bite the frogs. But, you know, I mean, if there was crickets climbing all over in there, that would certainly give somebody who wants to get off their little pudgy butt enough exercise going after them. You know, there's no denying that. Because the crickets would be climbing all over that stuff. So, I guess we shall see what's going to happen. But, yeah, I like the way it looks now. I think that looks pretty neat.